It's been a long afternoon, but it's been really, I'm just amazed that you guys all sitting here and staying here. And I really appreciate that, because I just wanted to have just what happened, a very intimate setting. And so here's Miss Dr. Kenyatta Hills.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
I took my shoes off because when I am in the presence of God, I like to take my shoes off. That's how I feel grounded. That's how I allow my anxiety to leave. So if you guys see me with no shoes on, that's why. So I'm getting into Kenyatta now because I was nervous all the time. But ma'am,
I don't believe that.
you don't think so? Okay. But my name is Dr. Kenyatta Natasha Hills. I'm gonna say it again. My name is Dr. Kenyatta Natasha Hills. Now imagine, because I was asked in the newspaper, the question was this: have I ever imagined?
No, you did.
I'm about to say it. I'm about to bring it up. Have I ever imagined being a slave during that time period? And if so, how would it make me feel?
Yeah, that's what she said.
So if you guys read the newspaper article, I said, I don't imagine myself being a slave or being born in that time period. Why? Because my ancestors have already lived through that. Why should I traumatize myself again and imagine myself possibly being a bed wench, cook? Not saying that those are bad things, but those are things that a black female had to go through.
Right.
Understand what I mean? It didn't matter how smart you were, as long as you did what master said for you to do.
Right.
So, getting back to I'm just go with the Spirit of God. I'm just go with the Spirit of God. I'm gonna try not to preach, because my cousin told me one time that I'm supposed to be a preacher. We have to. Okay, let me get to the book. I'm not promoting this book. I'm promoting my chapter that I wrote in here. It's about emotional intelligence and how it can be used for effective leadership. Now, I'm a business professor. I teach management, organizational behavior, information systems, business communications, pretty much any type of management or leadership classes, I teach them. So myself and 8 professors at American National University, we got together and we did a leadership conference or seminar for the professors for ANU. And through that seminar, we created chapters of what we covered. So again, what I covered was emotional intelligence and how it impacts or how it creates effective leadership. So as I'm writing this chapter for business-minded people, talking about working with subordinates, communicating with them, and things of that nature, I went to thinking, these same best practices are best practices that we as African Americans collectively need to start implementing within ourselves. The understanding of how we feel. Like Ms. Wellington brought up, we are traumatized. I suffer from anxiety and depression. And I have no idea where it came from. I don't know if I was traumatized, but I have a feeling through my prayer, it's through my ancestors. Somebody was hurt. Somebody needed some healing and they weren't able to get that healing. So it's through my bloodline and my DNA that I have found a way to minimize my anxiety. I just want to point this out. A lot of the foods that we eat are poison to us, like McDonald's, Burger King, all of that fast food stuff, because we are tropical people. For instance, you guys see my t-shirt. It says roots in Sierra Leone. From my understanding, my roots was in West Florida, near Campbellton, and all those are the roots that I knew of. Until my sister took the African DNA test, and it said that my maternal ancestry goes back to Sierra Leone, a tribe called the Timni people. I'm gonna tell y'all some history that I read about the Timni people. The Timni people were a very intelligent, strategic war people, right? And they were in, when the English, I'm going to say the English, came to Sierra Leone to buy slaves, they bought them for a purpose. You want to know why? The climate of Sierra Leone coming on down to Benin, help me out, Keisha, Benin, Togo, on down to all the way down to Nigeria. They have the same type of climate for farming as where all of us pretty much come from, South Carolina, North Carolina, and coastal Georgia, right? Because that's where they grew cotton, help me out, Keisha, indigo, rice. You understand what I'm saying? And the Sierra Leoneans, especially the Timni people, were known for their agriculture and their way of strategically thinking. And the majority of them was shipped to South Carolina. Now, the rainy seasons is different because of the different climates. But the same way that they farm all of that stuff, rice and indigo and things of that nature, off the coast of Africa, West Africa, they do it over here in South Carolina. So don't think that they just picked any old African walking through the forest. They went to specific tribes based on what they needed, and based on other tribes, because you know they warring up to find out our weaknesses and what is our best practices of what we do when it comes to agriculture. Like the Dahomey tribe of help me out, Keith. Not Togo, Benin. That tribe was one of the main tribes that went out and grabbed or stole key people from different tribes. Excuse me if I'm stuttering. It's just so much stuff coming in my head. So I wore this shirt in reverence of my foremother, whoever she was, that got on that slave ship with all the anxieties and traumas. They don't know where they're going. They don't know the food that they eat. Stories were told that they were going to eat us and things of that nature. So you're going through all that mental stuff and you lose control of your emotions. Now I'm getting back to my book, my other chapter. You're getting back, you don't know how to handle those emotions. You don't know how to handle those feelings. So you do what you normally do, what a human does, is close up. Again, like Sister Wellington was saying, you get depressed, you close up, you get in the dark. All of that stuff I have experienced within the last 5 years. I used to be out and about. Thank God my sorority sisters came to support me. I used to be into Zeta a lot. I had to stop because I had so much anxiety on me with work, family members passing, till I felt like God was like, you need to shut up and get in the house and just pray. So from 2018 to 2022, because I'm understanding my anxiety now, I'm learning that a lot of the emotions that whoever had the trauma wanted to express, I'm starting to learn to express myself like that. So back to the chapter that I wrote. While I was writing this, again, I was like, how can I benefit from this? Because ANU was benefiting from this. I was benefiting from it because I was able to get something published. But the work and the best practices behind this was really for business-minded people, executives, how to understand their emotions so that they can interact better or more positively with their subordinates or employees. And the reason why emotional intelligence came into my mind when writing about leadership is because of, I'm sorry, y'all, that's the anxiety kicking in. Now I'm hearing all kinds of stuff I'm saying. Is because a lot of times that I found while working under people, especially executives of people in higher leadership, their main goal is